Our first date, we went to Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen at the time had these chicken sandwiches for $1, and they were tremendous. And then we had it was Dairy Queen and $1 movie. I think the total investment was $5. So with that, I figured that this wouldn't be a big loss, and I know
if this didn't work out,
it wouldn't be a big loss, and I didn't really have a lot of money at the time. Asking her out for the first date, I knew I wanted to ask her out. I initially met her at Tom Brown Park. It's kind of a hangout spot in Tallahassee. I had just finished our football scrimmage. I think I had crutches, and I think I had ice on my ankle. And being the player that I was, I don't allow the crutch or the ice to stop me from macking. So, because to some that's an advantage. See, some people think that's a disadvantage, but I figured, the wounded guy may give me some extra love. So therefore, I just kept on talking. So she'd walk past me, and I said, "Hey, girl," because of course I don't know your name, but you're just a girl. So, and you should say hi to me because I believe I'm worthy of saying hi to. So she just kind of walked past me without, giving me any kind of feedback. So then I followed her.
I got in the back of the car thinking, okay, I'm safe. No, he gets in the car and starts talking to me. But he seemed really friendly, but I was like, this dude is limping, like something's wrong with his leg. And he just had a lot going on. And he was trying to talk to me, and my brain was just not there.
That night we didn't go. I went up this club called the Cosmopolitan. So I get to the club, I'm just hanging, and who do I see again? She's there again. So I said, she was a little more friendly on this round.
After that night, we exchanged numbers, but we didn't really talk to each other right away. And I want to say maybe it might have been 4 or 5 weeks later, he calls me and he says, "Hey, this is Jomo." So I was like, Jomo.
Trying to pretend like she don't know.
I don't remember, where did we meet? And he's like, "Man, stop playing, like, you only know one Jomo." So that's when we went out on the date after he called, and we had a great time. Once we started to get to know each other, it was like we were two peas in a pod. Some of the qualities that I loved about Jomo when I first met him was the fact that he knew where he was going, he had a vision, he had a plan. And I love the fact that he was so laid back. He was very funny. Jomo was always making me laugh when we would talk and have conversations. We had a lot of fun together. We did a lot of free stuff because we didn't have a lot of money in college, but we had a lot of fun.
What I love about Charmaine is that she is thoughtful. It was September 2nd, 99. It was my first game starting, and I tore my ACL. And she took me to therapy. And I was like, man, this chick is really different. Taking me to therapy because I didn't have a car, found a place for me to stay. She took care of me to the level that she almost flunked out of school taking care of me. I didn't know what love was, but I realized she displayed it the whole time.
I think I realized I was in love with Jomo when I started including myself in his future plans.
I think for me, it hit me later. I realized I don't think I loved. I think I was infatuated. I didn't know what love was. My definition of love came later when I really understood what it was supposed to be because, having encounters with people thinking that's love wasn't really love. It was just a moment versus actually saying, I really want to live and be with this person. So for me, it took, we were married before I realized, because even during the marriage and the vows, I'm just going along with the ride. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. We came to God, and I really understood. I said, man, this is deep. This is heavy. This is a lot. And I said, you know what? Now my understanding changed. because I thought for a while love was sex. Sex and love are not the same thing.
Right.
So I had to recalibrate and rethink it out.
What do you see when you see me?
I see laughter. I see joy. I see commitment. I see sacrifice. I see stick-to-itiveness. I see dedication. I see caring. I see suffering, long suffering. And I see a never quit attitude.
I see focus, driven, success, patience. The road to marriage was rocky for us. I wanted to marry Jomo, but I don't think Jomo was ready to be married when we got married. It wasn't until we got saved that I knew that regardless of how we came together, the fact that we were married, if we put God in the center of our marriage and we focused on God's principles of marriage, that we could make this marriage work and we could have an awesome marriage with God in the center.
How it came about was not the best, but I don't think it would have happened without that. It's the whole principle of all things work together for good.
Right.
Because the impetus of it was not good. And I think that was my hesitation to really lock into, to say, okay, you are it for the rest of my life, was my struggle. I think our marriage now is the best it's ever been. We know each other better, we understand each other better. The things that I think to do, I know that I have grown because I really want to serve her. And I really want to be the best at it in every area. And it drives me.
Our marriage right now, I would say, has been the most peaceful. Just him and I is peace for me. It's everything else around us that's chaotic. What makes us work as a couple is teamwork. We divide and conquer. Jomo is very like a vision setter and the big picture, and I'm all about the little details of it.
If you were to ask me the question, what advice would I wish I would have gotten before I got married? The amount of sacrifice it takes to really love someone. Most of us are selfish in our wants, needs, and desires. And when you say, I love you, I'm really saying I want to sacrifice and I want to serve you.
Everything that you go through, you think when you get married, you've dated this person, you know them. You guys are having a great time. Nothing's gonna change, it's just a piece of paper. That is not true. The longer you're with somebody, they evolve, they grow, their thinking changes on things, and you have to grow with them or you grow apart. We realized during the pandemic, it was so many couples that were struggling in their relationships because, and it sounds funny to say, but a lot of couples don't spend a lot of time together. So during the pandemic, couples are spending a lot more time together and realizing they don't really like each other anymore. There was a lot of divorce, a lot of domestic violence. We were having to deal with a lot more counseling during the pandemic than we ever had before. And it's like, we want to save these marriages. We want it to relate to every couple, you know, because when you sit down and talk to couples, you find out a lot of you have commonalities. And it's nice to know that you're not alone in those issues, that these are things that you have to grow through. And you can grow through it, and it's not impossible. So giving tips and giving advice on marriage and the things that we did to make it work and things that we did wrong. You know, a lot of people, it's funny, you know, you think about it now, when you're going through it, it's not funny, but after you get through it and you tell somebody else and it stops them from having to go through it, that's a win. That's a win. I hope people can take away that marriage is fun, that you're supposed to enjoy it. It's a journey. It takes time to develop certain aspects of your relationship, and that you don't have to struggle as much if you work at it and if you seek help. It doesn't have to be
That's good.
like this terrible thing. I think some promises are meant to be for a lifetime. And when you make a promise to get married to someone, it is supposed to be for a lifetime. And if you keep that in mind, then all things are possible. You put God in the center of it.